And we are recording. Hello, my friends, and welcome. Welcome back to the Krieg Dominion. I am Omar Krieg, your Lord and Commander of the Krieg Dominion, and your host for this, the 20th episode of Along the Frontier, entitled Marine Country 3. I am the Game Mother, a title I didn't create, but it does sound kind of cool. Also with me are Rodance, Luke, and Kane. So let's take a moment and check in with them, see what's new and exciting for them in the last week or so since our last session. Meanwhile, I'll be busy dividing my growing horde into a small collection of 5-on-5 basketball teams. It looks like I have enough for a 4-team competition now. I wonder who will win. Rodance, what's new and exciting for you? That one took a little bit longer than most of my what are my facehugger hordes doing?
I was just thinking that we've all survived. All 5 characters between the 3 of us have survived 3 of this, however many missions it is. What, 6 or 8?
It's 3 now.
We survived 3 of the total, 6 missions out of the Marine book?
Yeah, 7. Well, there's 6.
7?
And then the bonus, not bonus, it's the boss mission, I guess. That's the way to put it.
and give or take anything else that's stuffed in the middle. It's a variable thing.
Yeah. There's plenty of...
So we're 45% of the way through, and we still have our original PCs.
Ooh. And this is a downtime episode, so now that you said that, somebody's gonna get, Pike's gonna get alcohol poisoning. That's what I'm calling it now.
No, I'm pretty sure
Pike's gonna get really drunk and throttle Wescott till she dies.
And then somebody's gonna drown in the pool.
Yeah. Something dumb. I'm gonna finally accidentally trigger Kane's character Pike's overkill, and just into the y'all fucked.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing she could do. He's an order of magnitude stronger than she is. There's literally nothing.
Yeah, we're definitely when we're comparing
4 or 5 times her dice pool for certain rolls. So
yeah, we're on the level of exponents now, not individual dice, but exponents.
Yeah.
But
she has survived 3 missions and only has one permanent mental trauma.
Only one. Mostly brought on because she had to shoot what otherwise would have been friendlies. And then a whole mess of baddies.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything else?
Yeah, it's all because, honestly, she might never get a second because she'll probably end up taking Merciless, and that'll just whoosh.
Oh, yeah.
All the stress away.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
We'll see how it goes.
We will. I can't wait to see how the rest of the story unfolds. Luke, speaking of unfolding stories... That's really a horrible segue. What do you got for us? What's new and exciting for you?
New and exciting. The magic system is done.
Nice.
In the game that I'm making. It's very lethal.
That's my favorite.
And I'm hoping to get the movement system down, so that it actually functions for the demo. So that's where I'm at.
Excellent. Now, the best thing, I think, in a magic system, and this is because I've gone from playing high magic games like D&D, Pathfinder, to games like Warhammer that are if magic works, it's really awesome.
Yeah.
Then there's the times, a lot of them, when it doesn't work, and then of those, a significant portion of, and then all this other crazy stuff happens, like pink blobs that when they die turn into blue blobs.
I tried to pick up a book and move it across the room, and I became a demon host.
Yeah, that's and I don't even have to ask. I know that's the Warhammer system. It doesn't matter if you're playing fantasy or the 40k. I already know. I mean, never mind the fact that you said Damon host. That was pretty much a dead giveaway, but
yeah, that's totally not something that definitely happened in a game I played in.
Oh yeah. So
there were no vortex grenades involved in that.
So the Cole's note about lethality is that if you're in armor and you get hit by a fireball, you're pretty much gonna be on fire, and fire is bad for your health. And friendly fire is going to be a thing. So basically control of magic is going to be how refined you can make a target, and less control of magic means it's a wide target, big old spray.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
I'll
So
definitely want to
hopefully
get in
don't.
on this demo when it comes available. Obviously, you don't have to give me anything. Definitely spend a
No,
bunch of time in it. So
I'll figure something out.
I almost said Pike, but what I meant to say was Kane. Other than turning yourself into a Daemon host and all sorts of other crazy shit that can happen with magic and psionics, what's new and exciting in your world, my friend?
Oh, just more moving pains, dealing with the old place,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah, but you should be getting just about settled in now. Am I right?
I mean, I'm settled in where I'm at. I'm just trying to deal with a place that's trying really hard to continue to take my money.
Mm. Yeah, that's generally speaking, that's a detriment.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck as that goes. Anything else you got, or shall we go ahead and kick this off and see how many facehuggers and Xenos I can throw at you?
No, I'm ready.
All right.
We are ready.
As always, although I'm pretty sure the answer to this one is going to be the same as it usually is, does anybody need... I seen there were a couple of roles there. Do we need to add anything to anybody's character sheets, skills, equipment? I'm pretty sure those that dropped equipment last time around, I actually decided to make them inactive, so I don't actually have to go and drag and drop them back into you. Is everybody up on all of that? Is there anything that the
Yeah,
GM
pretty
needs to
much.
do for your character sheets?
I think so.
I'm just eyeballing things and everything looks fine.
Okay, I see Pike, you failed 3 attempts there, it looks like, with a wits roll.
Learning talents is very hard for Pike.
Learning anything seems like it would be difficult.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a question about my my home aloneing the hallways to the hidey hole.
Uh-huh.
Does that mean that Warren used heavy machinery to like do that, or did we rule something else about the Armax charge?
What the? Ooh, excuse me. How many of the charges were deployed? Was it just one or two?
It was just one.
Okay, well that's gone.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Sure,
it's in.
I think the
It's in a
question is
million
more,
pieces.
did
Oh,
he successfully use a skill rank so he can buy a random skill?
I'll say yes, because
Demolitions is usually heavy machinery.
yeah, no, I'll give you that one.
Okay. Perfect.
You can put I believe you start off at a single dice or something like that.
Yeah.
Single
You
die.
can now have the ability to buy it.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yes.
Well, you buy it and then you start with the one die.
Okay.
I'm looking at Wescott and her 10 stress and her 11 panic.
I think we can argue by the time you wake up at the other end of this FTL jaunt from Anisadora that you can reset all of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm pretty sure Watts has peeled his like 3 hit points by now too.
Oh yeah. If not, I'm just gonna GM hand wave it and be like, "You're back to baseline, everybody."
How do we get rid of his crit though for the shoulder?
So there is a recovery time listed, and that requires
7 days.
So that requires 7 days in medbay to get rid of.
So he spends the next 7 days in medbay, which means I don't have to RP him in downtime. At least not the first session of it.
I'm gonna delete it, but we could definitely say he'll be in medbay for at least. Well,
He'll
actually,
get thrown out of medbay after 7 days because everybody's tired of him shaking all their money playing cards, or at least attempting to.
or talking about all the times he's fleeced people.
Or equally ridiculousness that comes out of people
Yeah.
who like BSing.
I think we can argue that between the FTL trip and the next 3 days in the actual med bay, I think by the time you get to your next mission, he'll be fully operational. I did take that critical off, by the way.
Cool. I wasn't sure how to do it, so that's good.
I don't know if you can, but I know obviously I can. I just pulled it off of there. Anything else?
It could be done faster since we're in the med bay. Every day that somebody gives him like full care,
Mm-hmm.
they can roll medical aid, and if they succeed, they cut the time in half each time.
Okay.
So it could go like first day go down to 3
3
days, and
days,
then
yeah.
down to 1 day or down to 2 days and whatever. So
Yeah.
you get it done
That sounds like a
faster with
job for me.
dedicated medical care.
Alrighty. Wow. I am not hearing any objections to beginning the session proper, so let's go ahead and
Yes.
do that. Previously, oh wait,
Can
go
can
ahead.
you drop another weapon specialist onto my sheet?
Let's see. Weapon specialist. Yep.
What weapon are you picking it up with this time?
My sniper rifle.
Because I think you already have like 2 of them already. So
Maybe not.
at least
I only have
considered it.
unarmed right now.
Wow. Alien RPG CMOM talents. Oh, because it's CMOM talents. Duh.
The
Oh,
weapon specialist should be in general.
it's general talents.
yeah, it just took me a second, and then I realized that there was a whole ass search function. So,
All right, thank you very much.
all right, you now have weapon specialist. Oh, you changed it to whatever, right?
Yeah, I'll edit it now that it's on my sheet.
There. Anything else? I think we're good.
I've increased some skills. I'm good.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and kick it off, and if there's any alibis, we'll figure it out as we go. Previously, on Along the Frontier, the battle for Pandora went on for hours into the night and into the early morning, but in the end, the fighting removed the taint of the UPP from the island and nearby areas. In orbit, the UPP destroyers limped away, having sustained too much damage to remain effective. The battle, overall, went in the favor of the US CMC, but as always, there's more lurking on the edges of humanity, waiting, watching. The Tambatam arrives on the edges of the Mu Hercules system. I always feel like I've said that wrong, but you get the idea. And the crew and the Marines aboard her begin to stir. We're going to skip that section and go to the next section, evidently, according to my notes. Corporal Winston, you are the first to be woken up. As you look around, you notice that your compadres remain in their tubes. There is a directive or guidance given to you by Mother that you are ordered to quickly dress, refresh yourself, and report to the briefing room. You have about 15 minutes. Now, when I say, I realize I may have said that a little in a stern tone. It's not, it's Mother, so that's AI. There's not specifically a certain amount of sternness to it, but you're a Lance Corporal in the United States Colonial Marine Corps. If you're told to do something and given a timeline, the goal is always to finish quickly.
All right.
But yeah, dress,
well,
throw
obviously.
some water on your face, maybe some toothpaste in your mouth, and get over to the briefing room is usually how that translates. In the briefing room, you will see that Colonel Arnold, your new CO, or recently appointed new CO, is waiting for you, and he has his ever-present clipboard, and he takes a pen out of a pocket, and almost ceremoniously, or perhaps a bit intimidatingly, snaps it and does the obligatory click to stick the pen out so he can actually write with it. And he says, sit down, Lance Corporal. We're going to be here for a minute.
How do I address a CO again?
Just sir.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir Arnold?
No, just sir. Sir.
Sir. Okay.
Colonel Arnold or Sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Lance Corporal Winston, you are assigned as the medic to this team. Your last mission on Anisadora, also known as Pandora, was to locate and extract a couple of civilians. Of course, the fight with the UPP certainly complicated things. I do have a few questions, in particular, regarding your performance of your duties. This is not as part of any sort of formal inquiry or investigation or anything. Kane has something to say.
So when we got back, was I able to file a preliminary
I feel like you would have
report
had
for our
time.
operation?
Yeah, at the very least, you would have been able to answer the 5 Ws.
Okay, so there would have already been on record Pike's opinion about like absolving any potential crimes from Winston's actions.
Sure. Your comments may or may not have made it into whatever Colonel Arnold read. He's also seen the body cam footage, so.
Sure, I mean whether or not he gives a shit about Pike's
Yeah,
opinion,
yeah,
at least it
yeah.
was available to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I know how it goes. Sir,
Mhm.
here's my recommendation. You can tell me to go fuck myself with it, or you can take it, or anything in between. But here, I have done my part. Lance Corporal, or no, he wouldn't even keep calling you Lance Corporal. He'd just be like, Corporal Winston, in this fight, you were sent, we'll call it apartments. What did you
Yes.
find on the way there, or once you got there?
2 civilians looting the place, where we were attempting to find high value targets and equipment for retrieval.
And what equipment was that you were looking for? Do you remember? I'm assuming you're going to remember, but
It was a flute, 2 at this point bodies.
okay.
The flute was ornate. Didn't seem like a normal
I'm gonna
flute that I've
stop you
ever
there.
seen, but it was, yes.
For brevity's sake. I mean, and you get the idea that he has like, which one is it? Is it the sociopath that has no emotional interaction?
The
Or-
psychopath and the sociopath do not present in similar manners for most people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's definitely got like no emotion.
They're similar in some ways, but
I
one
think-
generally is perfectly happy to abuse everyone. The other one just doesn't notice
yeah,
in some ways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, the sociopath
It breaks
is
down
like,
weird depending
yeah.
Yeah.
on which version of the DSM you're looking at.
yeah. So he's definitely got the no emotional.
Flat affect
Yeah,
is
he's
what you're
flat
looking
and
for.
he's blunt, and it's because he doesn't understand the potential ramifications of the things he says or does.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm gonna stop you there.
Mhm.
And you kind of get the sense that he probably doesn't give a shit about the flute. How did you learn about Dr. Chawa and Dr. Liu's death?
From their android, it seems.
Yes, this android Maitland. I have Sergeant Pike's initial report. I'll be talking to him later, of course. What was the nature of their demise? From everything you and your experience as a Marine and as an experienced medical individual, what killed them?
Broken neck and the android.
So you're saying that the android Maitland killed these 2 doctors with his bare hands? Oh, well, it's an android. Not difficult, but it was the android.
Yes.
Did he happen to give a justification as to why he did that?
He seemed to explain that to protect the work that they were working on, he had to end them and produce the amount of information into himself and within the flute.
Tell me about these 2 non-combatants. From the footage I
These
saw, they
2
looked like they were no better than teenagers, barely considered to be young adults. Both are dead
they
now.
were, yes, regrettable.
He narrows
If
his
they would have
eyes at you
cooperated-
slightly. When you
If
say
they had
regrettable.
if
Sorry.
they had cooperated, they may have survived.
You shot the woman when she attempted to flee. Was that prudent, you think?
No, it wasn't prudent. However, with the information then they tried to pass through me, I accidentally shot one.
Accidentally shot one? Or intentionally shot as a response to her flight?
I'm being distracted by my voices in my head right now.
You need to get that under control, Corporal.
Cried by 12, better than carried by 6.
Okay, so I have, okay, so So everyone can see Rodance being.
Yes. Oh yeah, they
Rodance.
can. They can
Okay.
definitely see Rodance, especially with the
Yeah.
digging your own grave. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious, and I love this RP moment.
I'm gonna get
It
us
is
back
distracting,
on.
but
Yeah,
I'll,
let me get us back on track. You
Okay.
shot what otherwise seems to be a, I'll be generous, mostly innocent non-combatant because they attempted to flee. Now, in your defense, you did attempt to render first aid and keep this individual alive. Unfortunately, her wounds were too severe. My question to you, if you were to relive that moment, do you think that was the right call to make? And he's watching you. You feel like he's judging you right now, gauging every bit of your, not just what you're going to say, but your nonverbal communication as well. His eyes are like intense on you.
Given the opportunity, we would have barred the door first. We stumbled upon them, and then they bolted.
Hindsight's always 20/20, they say.
Yes.
Now this other individual, it was your battle buddy, Private Warren. I don't even know where to begin with that. A headbutt that broke his nose and somehow managed to kill him. Although, to be fair, the headbutt was augmented by the ballistic helmet. But also another unnecessary death of 2 non-combatants in the combat zone. People that your team was sent to help protect, albeit not exactly your mission. What do you have to say for that, Corporal Winston?
He had disobeyed any of the orders to remain calm, and Warren stepped in.
He did become belligerent, this individual, this male person. Unfortunately, things did seem to escalate. I will corroborate that based on the footage and the testimony, well, I shouldn't say testimony, the reports given by your team lead. Overall, your team completed the mission. There are a few questionable areas, but we'll dig into it as needed. As I said previously, and to remind you, this is not part of any sort of formal investigation, and in fact, there's no promises that there will be or will not be any sort of formal inquiry into the events on Anisadora, Pandora. Do you have any questions for me, Lance Corporal?
I believe that summarized the events quite nicely.
Very well. Later today, you and your team will have ample opportunity to compile your own reports. A full debriefing, of course. But we'll jump that bridge when we can. At this time, you are dismissed. I would say return to your team, but I haven't woken your whole team up yet. Corporal Wescott, you are awoken by the gentle, soothing tones of Mother saying things like, "It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to
For
wake
an
up."
empathy roll.
Yeah. And I also need your empathy roll.
Joy. Flat empathy roll?
As I understand it, yes. I don't think there's any modifiers to it.
Do not roll stress dice. Not that I have any.
Excellent. You're a functioning member of human society today.
Yeah, right?
And then you also are given the throw some water in your face, throw some toothpaste in your mouth, put some clothes on, and report to the briefing room.
I report to the briefing room, appropriately attired and, as clean as I'm going to get in 10 minutes.
Yeah, of course, of course. Inside, much like your compadre, who you have no idea that he's even awake right now, other than the fact his tube was empty. Colonel Arnold is in the briefing room with his clipboard, and as you walk in, he is seated at one chair, scribbling some notes on his clipboard. He doesn't even look up. He says,
I do the whole reporting to the officer to the point of commandness. I'm assuming there has to be some variety.
There is a proper
reporting statement.
Yeah, there is a proper
Yes.
way. I'm not going to make you do it.
She does
because-
whatever the appropriate thing is to
Yeah,
knock
yeah.
on the door to walk in, and
Oh,
then
of course.
reports in front of with statement.
I think without missing a beat, he just continues writing and he says, "Have a seat, Corporal."
I sit down.
Corporal Wescott, your team was sent to the colony of Anisadora to recover 2 civilian doctors, their associated research, and assist in their getting off planet. How would you rate your overall mission success?
I would say our mission was completed successfully. We met and completed all of our orders that we were given.
Certainly can't be denied. I want to talk about 2 separate points. I have seen Sergeant Pike's initial reports, and of course the body cam footage. You and Private Watts went to check out a building on a tip from one of the locals, and damn near died. And I mentioned earlier that he had this emotionless tone, and I think for the moment, just the tiniest bit of, it's hard to tell if it's anger or if it's remorse for what could have been when he says damn near died. But other than that, it was completely flat, despite my own emotional intonations. Looking back to that moment from now, how do you think you're able to survive walking into an outnumbered situation that was also a crossfire ambush? Close quarters ambush. Let me be more precise with what it was.
I think we survived due to a combination of prior preparation, proper training, and a bit of luck.
I think luck was a much more significant contributor than you're giving it credit for, and also luck should not be accounted for in such a way. However, you're alive. 2 of those 3 AWs are dead. The other one is currently sleeping.
Oh,
What's an AW?
Yeah. Only the medic got read in.
She doesn't know what an AW is, so he wouldn't have said that to her.
Oh.
Well, unless it was something he said.
Unless you were
assuming
purposely
you did.
doing that slip up just because. He
No,
would not have said
it
that.
was not intended as a slip up. I thought everybody knew, at least amongst your team, knew what an AW
No.
was. Am I
We
wrong?
know they're
the-
mutant. Like we know there are mutant big people like this one over here, but we don't know what they are.
Only the medic has been read in so far, and one of the things that Pike was going to do during this downtime was to request permission to give a basic briefing to the other Marines.
In that
Because of all
case-
the exposure they've had to AWs.
Yeah. In that case, no, he won't say AW. He will indicate that they were a special operations team of some sort. It'll be a very vague
The spec
term.
op.
Yeah, just basic spec ops. And I've already forgot exactly what I just said, but he will say
The basic spec off individual is still on ice.
yes, he's sleeping. He will.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah, yes. And then you encountered the spec ops team that was operating locally on arrival. And in your
Yes, sir.
discourse with this Sergeant Sachs, and during the fighting on the ground, Sergeant Sachs called for assistance, and this assistance arrived, and it was your actions that led to its demise. Now, I've seen gun camera footage, I've seen the sensor take on your APC, and I've heard some of the communications logs, as well as, of course, Sergeant Pike's report. Initial report, I should clarify. In your own words, and to be clear, this is not part of, or nor is it leading to in any sort of formal investigation. But tell me, please, in your own words, what The fuck happened there? You
Well,
killed
Colonel,
another Marine,
our
is what I'm understanding.
well,
Intentionally.
Colonel.
Sorry, please speak. That's the GM saying that. He's fucking with. Well, he's not fucking with you. He's definitely grilling you.
I did as my sergeant ordered, and I would not second guess his battle decisions on the topic. What I perceived was a individual who initially fired on UPP combatants, especially the enemy vehicle, and then turned and fired on our vehicle, and the sergeant ordered me to return fire.
Were you aware of, or had you made any attempts of your own, any attempts to communicate with this other Marine on the battlefield?
No, I did not feel like it was an appropriate thing to do in the middle of being under fire. He was actively shooting at us when I did this.
But you were in an APC, and those rounds did not do any damage to your APC at all. You could have taken a moment to communicate or attempt to communicate with this Marine to calm him down and get him to cease and desist his engagement of friendly forces. But that avenue was never explored. Am I
I
right?
trusted in my sergeant's orders.
Once upon a time, others followed orders blindly, and they still hung. Keep that in mind, Corporal. Nuremberg.
Oh, I'm aware
I
there
feel
are
like
several
200
times that
years
that's
ago,
happened.
we'd still be talking about, well, not, you know what I mean. Like, it'd
Yeah.
still be a relevant thing.
It's relevant military case law that still comes up because
Yeah.
of how we inherit laws from previous things.
Yep, exactly. I think, Corporal Wescott, that is all I have for you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, Colonel.
Again, there is no commitment for or against any sort of investigation. I just needed some answers myself, and I am anticipating seeing Sergeant Pike's completed full debriefing later this afternoon. You're dismissed.
Yes, Colonel. Do the appropriate walking out, and I'm gonna through the doors.
Sergeant Pike, you also now are being awoken, a la your compadres that in character you have no idea what's happening. Out of character, you know exactly what's about to happen.
Oh. He wakes up. He gets his same 15-minute marching order.
Yeah. Actually, he's gonna get 10.
Okay.
And,
He walks.
Partially,
I'm
I'm not gonna lie to you. Part of that is me being a dick. I'm not gonna lie to you. The other part of it is you're a team leader. You're expected to have your shit together.
Yeah. So he grabs the hydration pack out of the locker, walks over to the galley, grabs a brick of something to eat,
Cornbread.
throws it into his mouth, just stuffs this thing, like uses a hand to force it all into his mouth so he can close his mouth.
You know what I'm thinking of, right? Is those fucking crackers from the
MREs.
Yeah, exactly. Crumbs all over the front of you, just like.
I'm gonna need 3 fucking canteens to rehydrate after eating this.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got that crammed into his face, and as he's walking into the showers, he's already like wiping gel soap onto himself so he can step in and just rinse right back up to get dressed. And he's doing up his last few buttons on his way out the door and shows up on time, having eaten while pre-soaping to shower.
I think what you see as you walk in, you see Colonel Arnold, and he is sitting upright in a chair. His pen is sitting on his clipboard. He's completed writing whatever he's writing, and you kind of see very briefly as you walk in, he glances at his watch and then back up at you.
Pike does his one tap on the door frame. Sergeant Pike reports his order.
Sit down, Sergeant. Got a few questions I need to answer. Did I go offline and not realize it?
Still here with us.
Yes.
I
My girlfriend is saying that you went offline about a minute ago.
Yeah, my phone I didn't even notice that until my phone. Give me just a second here. Let me take a quick look at Twitch and see what's going on. Because I have my phone in front of me. It says we're live.
Well, that's so weird because I just opened Twitch and like I'm getting the ad and then I see us on the side.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah, I guess it was just some sort of hiccup and it's fixed itself, I guess.
hopefully.
Is it fixed?
Not that I've ever heard of Twitch fixing itself, but,
It's a little weird.
Certainly doesn't want to do that.
It's a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, we appear to be good, so we're gonna continue. And I already forgot, of course. Oh, he just says sit down. I think we're gonna
I
have.
have my seat.
Yeah, he's definitely got a few questions for you, Sergeant Pike. In your last mission, you were sent to retrieve a couple of civilian. Let's call them what they are, Sergeant. You and I both have been around long enough. Bunch of fucking eggheads.
Yes, sir.
Throughout the majority of this mission, there is one consistent theme through all the highlight moments, and they are that you never left the APC. With the exception, of course, at the beginning, but for the majority of the mission, you were in the back.
Majority, yes, sir.
Why?
Given the UPP advance and without any information on how long the lines are going to hold, I wanted to split my team to cover as much ground as quickly as possible. I stayed with the APC to be able to provide backup and fire support.
Do you often find yourself leading from the rear?
No,
So why this time?
there wasn't a lot of information. And I wanted to make sure that, given some of the things that have happened on the last mission since picking these Marines up, I wanted to be able to respond to any unforeseen lethal problems as quickly as possible.
The way to respond as quickly as possible might have been to lead from the front. You are an artificial womb soldier, are you not?
I am.
AWs need to be at the front. Would you agree or disagree with that statement?
We do.
But not today. Not this time.
I stand by my judgment. I think it was prudent in this particular situation, even if it felt unnatural. The mission took priority over any way that I might have felt about it.
Would you agree with the statement that there are more dead civilians now than there could have been had you been on the ground? Perhaps more proactive instead of reactive?
Would it be safe to assume, sir, that you're speaking of the thieves?
Not those two in particular, but generically speaking.
I mean, aside from those two, I think that any additional civilians that were killed by some of the other decisions, I still stand by them. And given what I saw and what was accomplished in that apartment building, I stand by those Marines too. There might have been other ways to do things, but I don't disagree with the decisions they made in the moment.
Hindsight is always 20/20, but it does provide an opportunity to see flaws and make corrections moving forward, do they not?
If you don't learn, you can't do things better.
Your leadership on the ground may have been essential. Other than Mother and I agreeing with the orbital strikes, you might not have survived the night. Perhaps you on the ground with your team might have been the better answer. Time will never know. Those moments are gone. All we can do now is Monday morning quarterback them. Food for thought, Sergeant?
I always chew through what I've done.
I think there's just the tiniest bit of a smirk as he recognizes your play on words and actually appreciates it. He will never fucking tell you that, of course. I will say that your team did accomplish its mission, albeit, and certainly not any fault of your team, after the two individuals were already dead. We did recover. You did recover Maitland and the information that we were hoping to preserve in the first place. So amongst all other things, there is that.
If I might ask a question, sir.
Please.
Did Maitland possess the information he claimed to? I assume that he's been disassembled, whatever they...
I am not at liberty to divulge that information, Sergeant.
I don't know what the polite term is for the toasters, but...
Polite term for the toasters? Sorry. This is clearly me and not Arnold. Because now all I'm thinking of now is Comstar versus Werder Blake. Which is better? Which is worse? Please continue.
I didn't believe everything that Maitland said, but couldn't take the risk one way or another. He was coming back with us.
I normally don't make such... What's the word I'm looking for here? I normally don't make much admission of these things myself, but had I been in your position, that decision, I 100% concur, I would have done myself. Maitland would have returned with us. Whether or not the information he carried was what we were looking for, whether or not he was crucial to the war effort, that would have been a decision I wouldn't have known what to do at the time, and I would rather have let my superiors figure it out. And speaking of superiors, they are figuring it out as we speak. Well,
yes,
I
sir.
hope they are, anyway. Sergeant Pike, the day is yours. I imagine your traditional post-operations matters needed to be attended to. I am expecting by 1500 today your full team debrief in writing.
Of course, sir.
We will be arriving in orbit of Tithonus at approximately, insert random time here because I didn't actually give myself one. So let's just say 1800, 2000, some shit. At which point you and your team will be receiving 24 hours of shore leave. Any questions?
I have a request for your consideration, sir.
Please.
Given the unusual nature of some of the assignments that these Marines have been put through and their proximity to AWs, not just me now, I'd like permission to give them a very, very basic briefing on AW awareness.
Your medic is already aware of your situation. I think there is an actual tactical or a pregnant pause in it. Yeah. Let's call it a tactical pause. It sounds more appropriate.
Yes. The medic was briefed on necessary information for care. I want to bring the rest of the team a little bit up to speed so that they're prepared to be able to make good decisions.
I have no idea what those AWs on the planet were doing. The ones that your corporal killed. That being said,
it's not my business, and I figure the guy I gave you will give you all the answers you want, sir.
I'm sure he will in time. That being said, brief your team up to the level of your medic.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else?
No, sir.
All right, floor's yours, Pike. What do you guys do now? You got the whole day.
Just imagine him being like, okay, so this is how the drugs are injected. And...
Pike's gonna start by having he's basically gonna give some like light duty bullshit tasks to most of them. Wescott is doing weapon strips and cleaning for the whole section.
Nice. maintenance. Got her just up to her eyeballs of weapon parts.
Hmm.
She's in there playing
Yeah.
Gunsmith Simulator, except she's not
I was
simulating.
gonna say that I'm pretty sure Wescott would have returned to the barracks pod to write her report and do weapons maintenance, so that somehow fits.
And it's gonna be like for the others, it's gonna be some like relaxing nonsense thing, like doing an ammunition inventory or something, so they can all just sit around and shoot the shit while they're counting like grenades or something.
Lay your
Um,
TA-50 out.
Yeah. And he's gonna give an absolutely unrealistic timeline requirement for Wescott. He's trying to keep her stressed out.
Oh no.
Watts, roll, oh, fuck, I done forgot the damn characteristics. Hold on. Did I say Watts? I meant Wescott. Yeah, roll empathy. Please. You're not going to go into depressive state if you fail this. You are going to take a point of stress, though.
Yep.
That might be a little bit unorthodox as far as rules as written goes, but I feel like I know what Pike is trying to do. He said as much in Discord, so.
Oh, I know too. It makes me laugh. So, yeah, I was just gonna say that technically weapon maintenance, I think, falls under. If it doesn't fall under the related combat, it would fall under the heavy machinery.
Yeah, we can go.
I know heavy machinery specifically governs the maintenance of heavy weapons, which kind of implies that ranged combat governs
I mean, in lieu of
normal ranged weapons.
well, I guess range combat would make sense to a point, but I think heavy machinery might be a little bit more.
Well, let me.
But you don't need. I'm not
because
gonna. I'm not gonna have you roll heavy machinery
I'm
to
not
see how well you
personally
clean an
curious.
M41. I mean, if you want to roll it, I'm not gonna stop you, but I'm not gonna make you roll it.
I mean, you got to roll close quarters on an M1 Garand.
Am I missing something on that one? I feel like I am.
Grand thumb.
Oh. I wasn't sure if it was that or if it was because like you're gonna need it to bayonet charge somebody or just beat the shit out of them because it only has, what does Garen have, like 10 rounds or something like that in it?
Like 5.
It's like 5 or 8 or something. I
5
forget.
or 8, yeah.
8, yeah.
To me, which I'm not knocking the weapon to be truthful. To me, that sounds like a really low number of rounds to carry.
I mean, the weapons that other people were carrying were like 5 rounds in a bolt action, so it
Yeah.
was
was
monumentally
legendary.
better.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the Pike's plan for the first couple of hours is to basically give everybody else a
freeze?
relaxing time.
Nope, she's
No.
moving. Okay, sorry. I'm looking at
No,
you guys
it's
on
just-
a really small
Okay,
screen.
so you're right here.
Yeah,
My screen is right there, and I was reading something real quick.
gotcha. I just wanted to make sure because we've had connectivity problems, not historically.
Yeah, no, I
traditionally.
mean, it's specifically, heavy machinery says it deals with the repair, maintenance, and use of heavy machinery, and ranged combat says shooting shit. So, 6 one, half dozen the other.
Okay.
But so like for the first couple of hours while he's putting together the comprehensive report and getting it sent off, like he's making it very clear that 3 of these Marines are having a relaxing time.
Yeah.
And one of them he's making it obvious that Wescott is being separated from the rest of the Marines and being worked hard. And he makes it like his body language and everything. He's like, it clearly changes when he talks to Wescott, checks on her, and complains about how she's going too fucking slow.
It's
Like
all
he's
formal.
obviously like angry and disappointed.
Yeah. It's
Like
all.
he's almost disgusted that he's dealing with you. And then he goes back to like, hey,
Normal conversation.
who's mixing up the cornbread? That last batch was ass. Like just having fun with the other 3.
Warren
and
is just disappointed himself in more.
Is Watts?
Uh-oh.
It was Watts that had that critical, right?
Yeah, Watts is injured.
Are we leaving him in the med bay for now?
For the first, I
'Cause
don't.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
However
I mean-
long as our extended downtime is, he would at least need to spend at minimum 2 days in there.
Yeah.
And that's if he got the rolls from an attending medic.
Yeah, we'll make the rolls
Yeah.
later. I just wanted to make sure he was actually in.
I'm assuming there's medical staff in there that can make that
Yeah.
check.
Presumably a doctor, a nurse, and at least one staffy, administratively kind of person. I would presume.
Yeah, because the first day is 7 days, cut in half is 3.5. Next day is 2.5, cut in half, which is 1 1/4, which is typically rounded down. And he should be out the morning of the 3rd day.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
The janitor comes in, rolls.
The janitor comes in and makes.
Yeah, Pike puts together his report. Even in his fully done out report, like he determines that in his opinion, the call that was made in the moment to shoot that woman, it was possible that she was leaving with information critical to the war effort, and the potential lives lost were worth the potential civilian casualty. I stand by my medic 100%. And then for Warren, he writes it up. The guy became combative, and my Marine tried to take him out non-lethally. It was an accident. No intention to murder. So I stand by that. If that guy didn't want to put himself in harm's way, he shouldn't have fucked with a Marine. That's sort of his general opinion on that.
I wonder, do you write that in the margins with a pen?
I mean,
or better yet, do you write it on a sticky note and slap it onto that passage?
Yeah, basically. I mean, like there's a
in writing.
Like there's a post-it note like on the report that says like Civi fucked around and he found out.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, but otherwise he writes the whole rest of it up. He does make note to give props to the surviving AWs that fell in for the effective defense.
Okay.
And he makes mention that we're all AWs. It did not have to go as well as it did. They remained combat effective. They remained focused. And they managed to maintain control of the local security normies. And we staged an effective defense, in no small part to their contribution for sighting.
Yeah, because I forget exactly what I said, and obviously I can always go back and watch the video, but I'm pretty sure I had said that Sergeant Sayx died, and I'm just going to say something like 2 out of every 3 of the remaining AWs were dead by the end of the fighting. I believe it's more or less out.
Yeah. I remember us specifically having 2 left at the end on screen, but we could have had others off screen.
Yeah. Because there was definitely a finite number on the ground, and I knew how many there were, but I don't remember now how many I had let survive. I felt like I was trying to definitely sell that this was a big push by the UPP, so there would have been a lot of casualties all over the place. Dead bodies everywhere.
Airstrikes level half the base. Was just fixing that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it got bad enough to that the escalated response was, go fuck yourself, I'm dropping tanks and strafing with jets. So it obviously had to be a big push.
And he does put in there for the Berserker, because he knows this report is going to somebody. The Colonel knows about the AWs. The Colonel's going to know about Berserkers, so he can name it.
I wonder, do you name it and then put like a question mark in parentheses next to it, or do you recognize it as Berserker? I
mean, I'm familiar with the program and the rumors. That was the first time I'd ever seen one.
Okay.
So, I put down the Berserker deployed. Information that I had going into it was that when the Berserkers lose control, they go nuts and got to be put down.
Yeah. I
didn't fuck around and wait. Our vehicle had mission critical information in it. It was worth more than one Berserker.
Okay.
And yeah, he submits it like 2 hours early.
Well, it's now 1300, 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I don't know why I clarified 1 p.m. in the afternoon, but you get the idea. What's next on the agenda? You've got until at least like 1800.
Yeah.
Imagine dinner and then entering orbit, so.
Yeah, Pike walks over to where Wescott is sitting in a pile of guns, and it's just like, this is fucking disappointing.
Like a full third of these are just Sergeant Pikes. She's working on them too.
Just quickly looking through a manual, like, how the fuck am I supposed to clean an RPG? He hasn't even shot this thing. Like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yes, exactly.
It's like, yeah, this is fucking disappointing. You better get some dedication. Everybody else over here.
Wescott, I don't want to keep picking on you, but I need another empathy roll.
Yeah.
Take another point of
Ooh.
stress, please.
Not sure why it popped up. Oh, I think it. Does it really make that much of a difference if I right click versus left click?
Actually,
Oh yeah, it does. Huh.
oh, did you
They're
roll?
completely. I didn't realize that right and left click opens completely different windows. So I was a little confused the second time around.
I take that back. Before you add that new point of stress, you do have the option here to push your own empathy roll. I suppose. I suppose I can
No,
allow
I'll
that.
take the stress.
Okay.
This
I mean,
entertains me.
well, pushing it would have given you the stress
Okay,
regardless.
as a player, this entertains me, and I want to see where this is going.
Okay.
So we're good there.
I'll be honest with you. Like, it's just adding more dice to your empathy roll to figure out whether or not you stay in bed the next day.
Yeah. Do you control the depression, or does depression control you for the day?
Yep. Now, if you want to go dark side, light side, like somebody else in the cast, and end up joining the Pike crew as a depressed maniac. Well, actually, no. I think it'd be more. I shouldn't be making jokes like this about mental health, but like I wonder if you did take the dark side, light side choice, and eventually rolled up enough times dark side, would that just make your character manic bipolar, or depressive
I want to know
bipolar,
what
or
happens
something?
if she rolls light side. Like, what if she rolled light side?
I think if she rolled light side, she'd come out more or less keeping her shit together. Every now and again, maybe you would have a depressive episode.
Meh.
Right. Well, here's so Pike's gonna he's gonna look pointedly over at Wescott. Not you. Everybody else, put your armor on. And Pike will go over to the lockers and put his own armor on.
I just is like, yes, Sergeant. Looks down, can keep scrubbing.
Eventful.
I'm gonna let you guys
RPG.
run this scene. I'm curious to see what you have here. So,
Can
Alright, so
anybody? So I take it, everybody puts their armor on, right?
yes.
oh,
Yeah, I'm
shut up.
assuming Watts is actually in the med bay right now.
Warren's
don't
gonna
see-
hate this though.
Yeah. So, either of you have any guess to what this stuff means? And he taps to the art on his own armor.
So Winston is gonna just kind of like look at it and try to study it, and Warren is gonna go. I'm assuming it's a bunch of achievements.
So, when I was coming up, it's a tradition. Your NCO marks your armor with things that people need to know about you as a Marine. These are statements of who you are. Proof of your valor, proof of your faults. But it's an honest accounting of you as a Marine. If you survive and become sergeants, this is a tradition. You'll be expected to do it to your own Marines.
Warren looks at the headbutt.
Even if it's something that you think is part of a negative event, you grow from it, you own it. It's all about being honest and part of your team. It's all about making the sacrifices for your team. That knife slinger, you threw away the only weapon you had before engaging with a physically superior opponent. You were probably guaranteed to die in that fight. But you did it anyways, for the team. And he reaches out, Warren, give me your helmet. And he scribbles on the front of the right on the brim of the helmet, hands it back, and it says browbeaten on it.
He bittersweetly accepts that after you making it sound so cool.
And he's gonna walk over to Winston. Is Winston a righty or a lefty?
He's a righty.
He's gonna walk over to Winston's right pauldron, And he's gonna put compliance specialist on the pauldron.
Winston's gonna be like, "Thank you, sir,
Sergeant.
Sergeant."
Now,
I'm going to assume that Winston would have said sergeant, even if his player didn't
Yeah.
get it
Yeah. Player doesn't get anything right when it comes to military.
right.
I'm really thankful that I didn't become a medic in actual military. I would have been terrible at it.
these things are very important. You'll see these on other Marines. Now go put your armor away.
Now, out of
Thank you.
character, really quick, did you have anything for Wescott, or is she completely shit out?
She's
as far as
not. She doesn't. He didn't tell her to put her armor on.
Well, no, I got that part. I was just curious if you had. Not, don't tell us
He's-
what it is if you do.
He's going to do something to Wescott's armor.
Okay. Speaking of Wescott, while they're in, let's just say, like, the very next stall, because you're on a very small ship.
Pike is making a point of we're not standing near Wescott. We're definitely standing in view of Wescott.
In view and in earshot.
Yeah.
I
Like,
think-
here, look at this thing that you're not participating in right now.
Yeah. I think passing by is Tom Stevenson. And he's not passing by, like, or he's not in the Marine country part of the ship, like the troop bay or the ready room or anything like that. But
He
he's definitely
might
walking
see us
by.
as he walks down the hallway.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
exactly.
Doors open.
Yeah. He sees you, and he stops, backs up, does the old lean back. You know, not quite finger guns, but he sees you. Yeah, you got it. And he
Yeah, I
smirks.
do. I might get a Slade head nod and back to scrubbing.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and he continues on doing whatever it is that he does on the Tam, because apparently now he's a civilian assigned to the ship. I don't remember what I fucking coded him as. Before.
Let me go look, because I think I wrote it down.
We have our salvation character
So,
arc.
back in session 15, Tom Stevenson is a tech consultant in the ship, a civilian consultant. A tech consultant in the ship crew who is a civilian consultant assigned to the ship.
Okay.
Why I wrote it that way, I don't remember.
I very well may have
specifically
said
put
it that way.
I think you said it, like, rephrased it twice, so I put down
Yeah.
both notes.
Yeah.
Because it's literally tech consultant, comma, civilian consultant.
Yeah, he's a civilian contractor working as a tech consultant. Probably updated some software program that needed to be installed and overseen
Mhm.
for a period of time. Some dumb shit like that.
He's the
Uh,
holder of the floppy disks.
Yeah, exactly.
Warren, go get Watt's chest plate out of his locker.
Ooh, is this where you guys all go down to visit Watts in the med bay?
So he
You can go in there
He
just like
presents the armor?
in Starship Troopers and put his piece of paper up that says he's dead.
You're dead.
Fucking love that scene.
It's so good. And Pike will scribble on the front of the chest, and it's gonna say "All reliable," and he's gonna draw a little simple tractor underneath it.
Now I don't remember out of character. What was the thinking behind that one? I don't remember.
The
He got-
first person to use second wind.
Yes. Yes.
He got
okay.
taken out, but he picked himself back up because he wasn't done fighting. So
I
that's all
heard no
reliable.
bell.
He's the first
Yeah.
one to do that, I think, eh?
Yeah, he was. As soon as you
So-
said first
I
one for
did
second
it
win,
when
I
I
was
was
like, that's right.
sparring with Pike, but that is not in combat per se.
No, that
No,
doesn't count.
yeah.
That doesn't count.
No.
So, yeah, he scribbles that on and hands the chest plate back to Warren and says, "You two should head to medical. Give him the good news. And remember, nobody has to give you an answer. But now that you've got this on your armor, you have the right to ask what anybody's means.
Nice.
Now go give Watts the good news."
Rodance,
Yeah,
Wescott's your guy, so this will be a scene between the two of you and Luke, that is,
Yeah,
if
so
you want to do something.
Watts is probably bored out of his mind, and they finally browbeaten one of the people in the med bay to go at least bring him his deck of cards so he can sit there and play cards while he's waiting, because he
He's
hates
gonna
sitting
play
in the med bay by
solitaire like a
himself.
grandma.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
He's being bored so bad.
I just as soon as you said he's bored, I'm like, yep, bored in a hospital. No, please, for the love of God, give me 52 pieces of paper for fuck's sake. I will make the cards and then play solitaire with myself like an old lady.
Yeah. So he's in
So
there
yeah,
playing cards, like he's doing it one-handed because his shoulder's probably still all wrapped up.
Yeah, he's like this.
Yep.
so they're gonna try to sneak in, and they're gonna be like all coy about it, and
Hey,
Warren's gonna
hey, what are you
hold
two
the
doing?
thing.
What are you two doing? Nah. Ain't no sneaking around here. Get in, do what you gotta do, and get out. Understand?
All right, got it. So we're gonna run in, and then
No running.
You just-
doesn't care. He runs anyways. So he runs
Goddamn
in.
Marines.
Puts the
They're Marines
chest.
too.
They're Navy. Actually, they're
Yeah.
probably
They're
Marines.
a
I'm thinking
Marine
that
ship.
they're
I think
they're all
they are
Marines. Yeah.
So it's a chest plate, right?
Yep.
It was chest plate. Okay, so he puts the chest plate on. He's like, "You're gonna need this." And
Watts does a double take, going, "Hey guys, why?"
yeah, you're a tractor now. You're old reliable.
you're a tractor.
He just looks at the chest plate you guys have shoved all over his bandaged up arm and chest, going, I kind of see it.
And then like Warren like lowers his thing, browbeater, and
Did
Winston
they
is
not even
like,
put their armor away? They're just running through the ship wearing armor.
That's why they
no,
got
it's just
yelled
like
at.
a head mat. Yeah, just the helmet, and then the chest armor for Winston.
Oh god, that's great. Yeah, so he looks and it's like, huh?
You're not
I see
dead.
Yeah, nice. See, we've collected some armor art.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worrisome about mine, but Winston seems pretty proud.
He makes Winston turn so he can see it. Compliance specialist. Yeah, I knew a couple of those. I like you better. It's like, okay. So do I get you guys to sit here long enough to play some cards?
Yes.
He's giving you really big fake puppy dog eyes.
I almost
'cause
want
he's
to
that
give
bored.
Watts a point of stress because nobody will play cards with him. But I don't feel like that's an appropriate use of the stress mechanic.
No. So yeah, they're gonna try to sit down. They're gonna pull up some chairs and stuff like that. And hopefully not get interrupted by Navy.
I think you do get a nurse that pokes her head in, and then she's like, 10 minutes, and then you're out of here. Don't make me call the gunny.
Thanks, nurse. Love ya.
You can hear her muttering something. I don't know why I automatically made her female, because I probably shouldn't have, but you hear muttering, but you can't make out what's
If it
being
was a
said.
guy,
But
he
you can
would've said the
imagine.
exact same thing.
Yeah, and he would have gotten the same message back. Like, stupid fucking Marines, go fuck yourself, you dumb fucking morons.
Yep.
All right. So, do you, as a player, do you have alternate motives to making these characters play cards?
No, he's legit just that bored. He doesn't even want
He's
your money
that
at this
bored.
point. He's that
Oh,
desperate.
wow.
His entire agenda is enjoying downtime to the max, so being
And he
stuck
can't. And he
in a
can't.
grid bay,
I
not
should
being
give him
allowed
a
to do
point of
anything.
stress.
Yeah. No, he got his item back, which is the only reason he doesn't still have it.
Yeah.
Because his personal item thingy is actually the deck of cards.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So he should be fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
All right.
but yeah, he basically just, chit chat, has open visitor time.
Nice.
All right. It is, by this point, let's say, after a little bit.
Meanwhile, in the troop bag,
Yes.
because I was making them go away.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, please.
Oh, yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, Pike's still in his armor.
Mm-hmm.
He walks over and he squats next to Wescott. I heard that all of you interviewed to be in a combat unit.
Is that something that would have actually happened for her? I'm assuming.
Well,
Something along
everybody,
those lines.
if you remember,
did.
everybody
That was
had
your
to
first
meet with
scene.
the. Yeah, you had to meet with your
Well-
captain to be because
Yeah.
the captain was
Oh,
basically getting.
we're talking that very first session where we
Yeah,
walked in and had to talk with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Session.
Session all the way back in 1.
Yeah,
the
we talked
opening
to
scene.
Captain Brooks. He had no answer on who was going on to the assault unit. We had the dropship come in. Then we have our training fight. Almost lose, and then we get assigned to the ship. That's what my notes say.
I think it was one of those.
I actually still have the flag from the first training mission on my character sheet.
That's amazing. Please
So
continue,
yes,
though.
they did technically so he showed yes, now that I remember that. Yes, Sergeant, we did speak to our captain at the time.
Why the fuck are you here?
I'm here to protect my Marines and serve the USMCS or God.
Close enough.
USCMC?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just the United Americas.
The United Americas. Okay, good.
I'm trying to decide how fucked you are right now. I don't want a recruiter answer. I want to know why the fuck you're here.
If you're asking why I joined the Marines originally, because they pay
No.
nicely.
I don't care why you joined the Marines. You had a cushy job. You got to play with fucking keyboards, and you decided you wanted combat. This is that job. Why the fuck are you here?
I'm here because I can do it and do it well. Even if
You
it's
think
not.
you've been doing it well so far?
She looks at Sergeant Pike. Dusty, I don't think anyone can hold up to your physical standards, Sergeant. But yes, within my bounds, I believe I am doing well.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
This is very awkward for me because I've been in these conversations.
Yeah, so,
Please continue.
yeah, so Sergeant Pike, what is it that you want me to do then?
What are you not understanding that the other three have managed to figure out? Not at the same time, but the three of them have all eventually figured out what being here means. You're the one that isn't figuring this out. What do I need to do to unfuck you?
As a player, I know that the semi-appropriate answer would be get along in the kick-ass take names party game. But I'm trying to think of what my Marine would actually say.
I'll do this. If you want, make a wits roll, and then I can provide you pieces of an information or pieces of an answer that you can then phrase in your character's voice. Will that make sense?
Yeah, because let's see.
I've been in this position with these two people before. It's hard.
Ooh.
Oh God.
Ooh. Ooh, Pike, you might have already gotten to her. Make that panic roll. That worked out a little bit more well than I thought it would. Okay, you're good. Is that still no successes though?
Yeah,
I mean,
so she
don't
would just
don't lose it, but it seems like you feel the pressure of the answer.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're probably, in fact, there's probably a bead of sweat collecting over one brow or something. I'll say this much though. This may not be the first time you've had this kind of a conversation, but this conversation carries the undertones of heavy combat. You're not a line soldier anymore. And maybe this is that first speck of light cracking through the shell, leading to either salvation or realization, or perhaps even damnation, depending on how you want to proceed with your character.
I think her response would be something along the lines of, "Full Sergeant, I think that anyone has that each person has their own way of dealing with this, and I haven't quite found my footing yet in the same way that they have. They have seem to have clicked into our squad and are working very well together. I've yet to have that moment of click with Watts and with the squad in general.
You see that pulse rifle there? And he points to his pulse rifle.
Yes.
That wasn't mine first.
Don't mind me.
That rifle there, and he points to a scoped rifle. That wasn't issued to me first either. All of these weapons. You don't know the history of any of these weapons. You don't understand the history of what you're stepping into. You're here taking the spot of this family, and you're not being part of it. And that means every time that I take you out and you are not on board with this family, you are choosing to increase the chances of any of them dying because you can't unfuck yourself. Now, it's real fucking simple. You can keep doing your own thing here. Be alone. And I will make sure that you don't put any of their lives in danger anymore. I don't think it's too late. I've seen what you could do. I've seen moments. That ambush that you survived with Watts, that was a moment that showed me that you can be a part of this family. But you have got to join us. Or you're going to die, or you're going to get one of them killed.
I would like an empathy roll, please. And the reason why I asked for that is he is hitting straight on your big, what is it, agenda? Is that the word I'm looking for here?
Yeah. My personal agenda is literally to bring everyone home.
Yeah, he's striking those core value chords super hard right now, I think. Okay. I think
no extra stress. Yay!
Yeah, no extra stress, but I think if you want, maybe as far as your character development or whatever you want to call it goes, I think this is where you start to realize that now you definitely got to start playing by the big boy rules. And I don't mean dark side, etc., but like this is, you've obviously seen this shit, and this is serious shit, but right now, with what he's saying, it's clicking. This is some deep, serious shit, and I need to get my shit together. An option. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. But just based on that role and the direction of this conversation.
Now, there's a couple ways that I saw Octavia Wescott's character going, and a lot of them are still open, to be honest. So like the techie, sneaky, kind of like capable intellect and all that kind of stuff was going to be like a really good like angle for her character. And Pike is just like, hey, you're gonna be a murder robot soon, and I'm like,
Well, I think some of this right now is like Pike is trying to get through to you in a way that obviously it's the only way he knows how. Now the question is, how are you seeing that? Is Pike an asshole, or is Pike taking the metal and trying to heat it up to the just shy of the point of breaking so that it can be forged into the weapon it needs to be?
You're my corporal. You're my NCO. So I'm going to tell you something. It's going to stay between us, NCO to NCO. Do you understand what this stuff is? And he points to his armor art.
Is that the one in Spanish, or is that on your flask? Sorry, I know I'm interrupting.
The Spanish is on his flask.
So she would probably know in general that the armor art is a representation of history of the Marine that's wearing it, but she wouldn't know the object in particular that you're pointing at, unless she sat there and stared at it. But I don't think we sit and stare at each other's armor.
No, but we've been on 3 missions now. You guys know what's on his armor.
Yeah, like
let's just, for the sake of argument, let's refresh everybody, including the viewers. Not me. I always remember everything.
What art is on his armor?
Yeah.
I don't remember if he's ever said it, frankly.
I think he has. I literally just can't remember. But for the sake of continuity.
So he has on the chest is a skull on top of crosshairs with a knife pushed through the top.
Okay.
And
That's a hard feat.
and on his dominant pauldron, there's still a bullet hole through the pauldron, and written around it is "Ain't got time for it."
Yes, I remember that now. Yes, yes.
Oh god,
But that
yeah.
came from your NCO role, or whatever the role was. That was your previous unit was fucked with and tormented and tortured and harassed by the enemy.
Right. He didn't get art for that, but that was the last assignment he was on before picking these people up.
Okay.
Was the hellscape of losing everybody else.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Some background.
Yeah.
Do you know why we have these on our armor?
Other than the generic answer of representation of history and tradition?
They're here to tell the Marines who we are and who we were.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of that honesty between family members. This one, and he points to the "Ain't got time for it." I got shot 12 times in one mission.
Yeah.
I decided that it was more important to shield somebody else from gunfire than it was to put down a gunman. And they died anyways. You don't have to be a medic to know that your body doesn't stop bullets. And this one, and he points to the skull, I'm a sniper. I went out with my spotter to take someone out. Can't give you a whole lot of details past that. But I will tell you, I didn't take family seriously. I took the shot and I missed. My spotter died. I had to secure that kill with a knife because I'd been pursued for weeks and I ran out of supplies because I was so far up my own ass that I almost lost that mission. You don't have to make those same choices. But if you don't get on the program with me and the rest of them, you're going to walk this path. And I know you're the squishy type. If you get one of them killed, it'll haunt you. And you don't have to. It doesn't have to be your fault.
Yeah, she probably would, about this point, set everything down really carefully and stand up and say, I'm not leaving my Marines here by themselves, behind. Mm-mm. My job's here to protect them and help us get our mission done.
Can you make an empathy roll again, please?
Because the way she sees that is he just told her to run away.
Okay. And that's literally what you're hearing as you add a point of stress. Is he's telling you to run away, and it's actually sounding like a half decent idea.
I mean, running away in fear is technically a standard survival option.
It is.
But she
It
doesn't want to do
absolutely
it.
is. It's not called fight or flight for a reason. Or it's called fight or flight
Well,
for a reason, I should say.
Are you gonna push that?
You can if you want to.
I mean, yeah, in this particular instance, she would, because now he's
calling you out, in a sense.
he's needily gonna spot where she would be very unhappy about it.
Yeah. So you should only be at 3 stress right now, unless my math
There,
is bad.
fixed it.
Well, now after the roll, you should be at 3. But yeah, no. So now you are hearing it. I think what you're doing now is you're in your own mind, and based on what you had stated before I asked you to roll, you're standing up to him. This is your moment right now where you're literally not just standing physically, but like as a challenge, you're standing up to him. And what does the rest of this statement look like? It sound like?
You're not gonna scare me into running away from my command, care of my Marines, Pike, Sergeant Pike. I will support you in our missions. We will get our shit done.
Won't be evil.
You don't have to. You don't have to quit. If it makes you feel better at the end of the day, if you can't put up and fight to defend your Marines, I can take you out of this unit and you can tell anybody any story you want.
I'm sorry, that was really good, Pike. Give me just a half second here. That was a
was.
really good comeback. You don't have to quit. I can throw your ass out, and then you can tell whatever you. Oh my god, I might want to write that one down.
I know, right? Yeah, she
'Cause up to
Kane
this-
is too
up-
good at this.
Up to this point, I haven't seen a fire in you to want to protect them. Not really.
Mm. Yeah, making empathy on that one. He's calling. The call out is coming right back at you. And yes, there is. I'm doing this because of your depressive stuff. I want to make that role a little bit difficult, based on how you ended up in that position. Make that panic roll, please. You do have 2 successes. Yeah, you're good. So yeah, he's calling you out. He's like, you don't have the fire for this, and that die roll says you do, but you the player need to figure out how your character's going to harness it. That's what I'm seeing here.
Yeah,
what is the
she
commitment?
definitely is now standing and practice.
Now, this might not occur to you, the player, but it
Mhm.
would occur to Wescott. Before Pike had this conversation with you, he made sure nobody else was here.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty standard for like like
Professional development.
yeah, like a mentoring or a counseling. Like this is he's not telling you to stand at attention or anything. He's not being formal. And he made it clear you're having a conversation as 2 NCOs. So he's
And-
given you permission to be informal.
Also, I want to point out too, and I don't know if Kane did this intentionally or not, but 2 people in this conversation, and they are more or less eye to eye, and he did that on purpose by crouching in front of you until you stood up, obviously. That's usually not exactly submission, but definitely an opportunity or an attempt to put things on a level playing field for all parties.
Yeah. So she would gently knock on your chest plate, going, "Yeah, I haven't been through the same thing, but we've been through the same missions, and I will be here to fight for you and for the rest of my Marines. 3/4 of the time, that feels like I'm fighting a computer, but I still will be there fighting for you. If you want me to pick up another gun, say so and I will shoot it. If you want me to shoot another psychotic man in a power armor, I will do so. I am not.
I'll kill Space Marines too. Fuck you. Sorry. I'm sorry.
But I will not just back down and run away from this. I chose to walk into this. I will hold to my decisions, and we will move forward."
Could we do as an idea?
Mhm.
Could she make a manipulation roll to try to see what Pike is
Yes.
trying to do?
Absolutely. And if you want, you can resist it.
He's
She
not-
has like no skill in manipulation. She just has straight empathy.
That's fine.
Well, I mean,
He's about
so
to
is
have
he.
one.
And give
Oh,
me that.
wow.
Give me that stress roll, please, or panic roll, I should say. Ooh. There's a twitch.
No, this is good. This is
Yeah,
good.
this is
Your
good.
stress goes up.
I'm
Pike
pretty
notices it.
sure that those successes stand. You just have a twitch now.
Yeah, I'm up to stress 4 now
I'm not
too because of it.
I wasn't planning to resist the roll, but Pike can't pass. He only rolls 1 die, so
Okay.
it doesn't matter if he was going to roll.
Yeah.
So you can tell Pike is trying to get you angry because he wants to know that you can get angry.
Does Pike get stress level 2?
He should.
Yeah, he does because I'm twitching.
Yeah, you get a point of stress too, Pike.
Yeah, I took it.
Okay.
But Pike is trying to get a rise out of you to prove that you can be angry. He wants to know that, like, he's trying to get a rise out of you so that you confront him with rage as proof of your conviction. Because that's the language he's trying to get out of you, is for you to just be like, go fuck yourself. I'm here for these guys, that type of thing.
Yeah, out of her
Any-
normal personality, this is what she's still doing, but with being within the bounds of what she would consider
But I think
mostly acceptable.
But I
like,
feel like with the
And her
the two- I-
personality.
I
But
feel
she's
like with the
definitely on the edge on if
successes-
you keep pushing her, she would probably just like
But I feel like you
Latin
could tell
or
with those
something.
successes that like the more measured you try to do this, the
Mhm.
more like when you're trying to be measured instead of just getting mad at him, the more he feels like he don't belong here. He wants a rage response. He's baiting you to get a rage response. He's trying really hard to offend you on purpose to get a rage response, and he's that's what he's doing right now.
He's trying to see if you got any real emotions about this. Are you committed? Are you convicted? Not convicted. Are you in it to win it, or are you just going through the motions?
He wants to see the fire. That's what he wants because that's the language he understands.
Mhm.
He watched Warren throw away his only weapon to protect the team. He saw that fire. He watched his medic murder an unarmed civilian for the mission. He's clearly on board. He watched Watts get gunned down and pick himself up to stay in the fight with his battle buddy. He's clearly in it. He hasn't seen something like that from Wescott. And he's trying to get it now before he decides if he's going to recommend getting rid of you.
Yeah. So at this point, would he keep like needling her?
He's gonna keep talking down to you until
Yeah.
you like shut down and quit or do something.
Punch him in the face. Sorry, don't listen to me.
No, why would she
We
break
all
her
thought
hand
it.
on him? She knows better. She's already
Yeah.
done that and has spent her own time in the med bay because of it. Thank you very much.
Kill him in his sleep.
Yeah.
No, she has an entire table of improvised weapons behind her. May I
This is-
remind you?
Yeah. Everybody's disassembled weapons.
She very purposely turns for a moment, picks I'm assuming we use standard screwdrivers on guns.
Yeah.
She picks up one that, is very, like one of the ones that's like about this long.
Yeah.
So when she turns around and slams it into his chest, she probably isn't going to like go all the way through because she does doubt she has the armor, but she does it. She makes a point out of
I mean, if
gouging
you want to, you can
shit out of his chest plate.
make it close combat.
Oh, she is. I'm
Yeah.
just saying her purpose isn't to kill him with it. Her purpose
Yeah.
is to make a point by fucking up his chest plate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she's
less
trying to-
angry and more like I'm just marking a huge
No,
mark
this
in your
is
chest plate.
definitely intent, and I think this is gonna get.
Yeah.
God damn.
Solution that would work for her.
I've got something great.
Fail the roll.
I've got a great follow up to this, but you got to make a panic roll.
Yeah.
If Omar's okay with it.
Go for it. Let's see what you got.
Oh, and there goes stress 5.
What's 8? What's panic level 8? I don't remember off the top of my head. I know 9 has
Panic
dropped
level
something.
7.
I don't have the table open right now. I'm not in tech support.
Let's see. Rollable tables. Panic. That's what I want. Panic table.
At this point, you should probably
8.
just put it on a little note card and stick it to your monitor for these games.
Or maybe remember to
Pretty
bring
much.
my alien book over here. Yeah. Uncontrollable trembling. -2 mod to all all rolls until the panic stops.
It's -2 to all agility.
Yeah. That sounds a little bit better.
So
Yeah.
she grabs the screwdriver and goes to like stab him with it, and because of the failure, he just grabs her wrist. Is that acceptable?
That's about the right speed because we've already done close combat and she never wins.
Yeah.
So he just like grabs the wrist to stop it and says,
And I think
"That's the."
if
and
I
he's
can
a-
cut in real quick, I think you grabbing her wrist in the middle of this, like, she's just doubled down on committing to everything and proving to Pike. And here's stabby, and motherfucker grabbed my wrist. And now she's trembling. It's not from fear. I want to. Up to Rodance, of course. I think this is where we start
So
to see
mad
some of
as
that
a tremble.
frustration and anger. Not quite rage, but like, motherfucker, of course he's gonna grab my fucking wrist. He's fucking quicker than me. God damn it, I knew that. But fuck, what do I gotta do?
So he grabs the wrist and he'll just lock eyes and say, "This is what you need. This anger. This is how you save your Marines." And he'll let go of her wrist and stand up.
She takes a moment, glares at you, breathes really hard, and turns and slowly puts it back down. Because I think she would still be very angry.
When the others come
Oh, yeah.
back, let them know they're helping you finish clean the weapons.
Yes, Sergeant.
Don't let go of that. Keep it near and dear to you.
All right,
When the
pal,
chips-
Steve, calm down.
When the
You're
chips
supposed to let go of your anger.
when the chips are down and your Marines are gonna die, that rage is how you're gonna save them. That rage is how you're gonna be part of this family. Don't let it go.
She just gives a head nod.
He'll go over to
Also-
Locker, take his armor off, give her a minute to like not want to just stab him in the back, and then come back over with her chest plate.
Mhm.
And he'll just like toss it on the ground for her.
If you don't put a screwdriver on that chest plate, I'm gonna be so disappointed.
So on it is like up in the top corner is
Mhm.
2 stick figures hugging, and underneath it says friendly fire.
Forgot about that. Oh my god.
God. She just looks at the chest plate, picks it up off the floor, and dusts it off, and sets it and just is looking at it, going. She looks at Pike. She looks at this, going. I feel like we should get a courtesy of Pike tag on this.
Well,
Looking up because he is like 2 full feet taller than her.
No, what
We
you
did
need
try
now
to
is a rocker
screwdriver
underneath that
him.
says Nuremberg. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
right.
shut
You know,
up.
like,
I'm
all
gonna
of
try to
these,
shut
like-
up.
all of these little rockers underneath for like, please, I'm not this person. Yeah. There's no way the nurse is going to let him stay there too long. When they're back, they'll help you finish the weapons. Get them done quick. There's a briefing I want to give before 17.
I just
Understood.
want to say that this has taken 45 minutes and we had 10 minutes, so the both Marines are just literally at the door like, what the fuck?
Quite possibly.
Yeah. I could see the Winston and Warren are just like, is it safe yet, man? Nah, man. She just tried to stab him. Hold on.
Yeah, she just tried to stab Pike with a screwdriver in plain view. Hope anybody who
seems-
happened to be standing there.
I like when he walked away to put his armor up. He looked pleased.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. Pike almost got stabbed, and he's laughing about it. I don't know. Let's just give him a few
Yeah,
more minutes.
clearly,
It's
clearly,
Pike.
everybody else is confused about Pike.
It's Pike.
Mhm.
All right. Unless there's anything else, we can fast forward to this briefing that Pike wants to give.
Nah. She probably would have made pretty decent progress on guns, if nothing else,
Oh, yeah.
because
I mean,
she's been doing.
you had something like 3 or 4 hours easily, and that's not even
Mhm.
including like if you know how fast you wanted to cow through breakfast or whatever.
Oh, she probably would have been sitting there, like, eating the. She would have ate the bar and have been sitting there drinking coffee while doing this.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. All right, Sergeant Pike, you had a briefing you wanted to give.
Yep. So
Well,
I tell everybody to have a seat at the table.
Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. Oop.
Oh, we got to make Winston's roll before I forget for today. I'm not Winston.
Winston.
Sorry, Watts.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're rolling for the medical lab staff.
Yeah, I'll just make a quick little. I don't know. Does 5 dice sound good? I think
I
five.
have 9.
I think 5 for a shipboard medical person. You know what? Let's do.
I mean, if they have a higher than average empathy, which would be 4 dice, and then 2 to 3 ranks in the skill, that's like 6 or 7 dice.
Yeah, we'll go with 6. I think 6 is because 3 and 3 doesn't sound bad for someone who intends to go into the medical field. Ugh. Ugh. Well, instead of taking 7 days, it's gonna take 6. I'll give you that because it's your battle buddy and all. But I did fail that roll.
Life.
Yep. On that note, sorry, Pike, please resume with the 1700 briefing. You could smell food being prepped, a couple of bulkheads away, in the mess area.
So I don't think it's any stretch of the imagination that, with the exception of Winston here, the rest of you might find the fact that I am gigantic to be slightly unusual.
Right.
She just gives that no shit look.
And she looks up at him.
Now, normally, not a big deal. You know, one person's just ratting it up real bad in the gym. But we just were on a mission with a whole bunch of people that looked an awful lot like me. And I got permission to give you guys a very basic briefing on why that is.
They be big.
Okay.
I was raised by the Corps. You grew up in your homes, your colony, on Earth, got to pay taxes, get your voting registration, join the Corps, or use it to not go to prison, whatever your reasons are. My earliest memories are in the Corps. I've been in the Corps longer than some people spend their entire careers in. Artificial womb soldier program. Genetic, hormonal, chemical alterations to babies grown to fight. Those other Marines on our last mission were also AWs. That's why they look kind of like me.
Sergeant, is that also why you spoke to their sergeant directly?
I
You
mean,
did pop out of the APC to go jog over there and talk to her by yourself.
Yes.
Hmm.
There's certain things we might have wanted to talk about you guys weren't clear to know about. Wanted to give a good sergeant the opportunity. The Winston's already been briefed because of some specific medical needs. I do have medications. If you take them, you will die. Do not rummage through my bag and take my drugs. They make me feel real good. They'll make you feel real fucking dead.
Listen,
my
let me
body
be
is
clear.
just-
Don't go for my drugs because you're going to die. Not because I killed you. The meds will kill you.
Yeah.
And if they didn't, I will.
Pretty much is what it sounds like. And if he doesn't, well, Winston over there probably will for misappropriation of materials.
There are chemical and genetic differences between me and a baseline human. Some things interact differently. This is why Winston knows and none of the rest of you did. I volunteered to work with normal Marines. Normally, we're assigned to all AW units. Most of them have been disassembled at this point. They don't make more of us. I volunteered to be with you people.
I'm trying to keep my thoughts to myself. Please continue.
Can't tell you where we trained, can't tell you where I was raised. That's all operational stuff. It's well beyond what you guys need to know. If you have any questions, I will answer the ones that I can. You guys have 30 minutes to be curious about Sergeant Pike.
So you probably would have gone through all the standard trainings and then advanced trainings in most schools with that amount of time in the Corps? Or at least
Well-
especially sniper training?
I've been a Marine sniper since I was 13.
And also 6 foot tall at that point.
At least.
That's also the first time I went to combat.
I suppose the rules are different for AWs. Warren pipes up.
A little bit. A lot of the stuff that we were expected to work on before were the sort of missions that special forces teams are supposed to train to go on. We were raised to do those sorts of things. The strange things that have happened on the last 3 missions, the creatures in the first 2, stuff not happening after we leave, information going dark, that's normal for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I expect, since we've been succeeding at these, we will continue to run into more of this stuff until it's over. The weird's not going to be over yet.
More and more difficult.
I'd expect it. Victims of success, they'll continue to push to get out of us until we can't perform anymore.
I think it's actually dramatically appropriate and also funny that there is a notice that runs through the ship via the PA that General Vaughn is currently en route to dock with the Tambatam.
Speaking of, it's going to take a little bit of time for that dock. We'll definitely probably be in some sort of formation for that. More questions?
I mean, just the questions of like, do you sleep in standard patterns, so on and so forth. But I mean, stuff the medic would know, like, hey, like if we all rack up for X amount of hours, like, do you require the same amount of sleep or more or less? I'm assuming being bigger, you probably require more rations. You know,
do eat more.
Mhm.
My brain chemistry has been adjusted to be different.
Mhm.
The reason why I asked for this briefing, it seems like we might interact with more AWs. I'm considered unusually sociable for an AW.
An aberration, if you will.
Most of us, due to the nature of our training, end up. Most of us are clinically diagnosed sociopathic.
I bet makes
But
an
not
awful lot
you.
of sense.
I don't think. I mean, I'm not the same as the rest of you. I'm something more, something different. But it doesn't mean that you normies aren't valuable to me. You're all contributors. That's why I volunteered to work with normies.
Mhm. So
Or
for
big fat
normies, do we get
hamsters.
to call you mutant then? Just asking, Sergeant.
Okay, and the correct answer is as long as you call me Sergeant. I'm joking.
And she actually was trying to crack a joke.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Well, we're here and there's nobody else who's not read in. You can call me Sergeant Mutant. And if you do, I'll just keep referring to you as filthy fucking normies.
Because that's the only way to refer to non-AWs.
So be very careful when dealing with other AWs. I know it might not seem like it because my behaviors are different than what you might expect from other people, but I really am much more sociable than most AWs. Be careful.
If we ever run into other AWs, is it better to directly refer them to you?
Yes.
Is it the kind of thing where we should be running to hide behind you so you can talk to them, or like normal pace?
I mean, you don't have to. We're all allies here. But if you end up in a situation where you're not in agreement with an AW on a mission, you can let them know that you're following orders of Sergeant Heath A.W. Pike. They'll be very motivated to take a piece out of my ass instead of yours. And we know how to settle things AW to AW.
It's called the circle of equals.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, don't ever get in a fist fight with any of the AWs. Check.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, that was a BattleTech reference. Don't pay attention to it.
Like I'm sure you've noticed in our little brawls, I got to take a cooler after kicking your ass.
Mm.
I have to fight the from birth training to kill anything I fight. Most AWs don't bother.
Good to know.
That ambush that you had in that fish packing bullshit facility, they were AWs.
Were they United America's AWs, or does the UPP have their own version of AWs?
They don't make them. Mixed up orders, probably. It's not our business to know. But that's why they didn't give a shit to talk to you.
Yeah. Grenades really aren't a great way to say hello.
Do you have any other questions?
Nope.
Make sure your uniforms look nice. We're probably going to see somebody, even if they're not going to talk to us.
Okay.
Is that my cue for the segue?
Yes,
Yes.
we make sure I make sure my Marines are appropriately attired.
Because
And
that,
And
remember,
that
outside of this room, you know nothing about any of these programs. You have been rated on basic information. Nobody else has been.
mhm,
If anybody makes reference to any of this, you have no idea what they're talking about.
I
here,
make sure
sign this
Warren can find said
non-disclosure
pants.
agreement, military form.
That's
Yeah, I make
Winston's job to spread the form.
What did you say?
Maybe.
That's Winston's job to like give the forms out.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because he
Yeah.
already knows all this. He's just like, yeah, I've heard this bullshit before. Sign here.
Yep. Yeah, and I look at Warren over there and go, "You have your dress pants, right?"
Oh, this won't be a dress pants sort
Yes.
of thing.
I understand, but it was
No,
still a joke.
He's just being like, make sure your uniforms are clean and ironed.
Oh,
Don't
your
look like a fucking
dress
slob.
pants.
The nice uniform
are,
pants.
You're so not allowed to refer to anything as AW that you can't go to ANW.
Wow. See, I'm not the only one inserting stupid jokes.
No, I'm trying my best here.
So unless there's anything else, you guys will proceed to dinner, and it is, of course, watery down noodles with red sauce, i.e., it's
Ooh.
spaghetti.
Do we at least get pretend cardboard garlic bread?
Yes, and well, you get cornbread that may or may not have garlic butter smeared on randomly, so your piece may not have a lot, or it will have a lot of garlic butter. Because this is the
I feel like
military.
that
This is
just
how it
gets
works.
dumped into the pile of liquidy things stirred together and eaten that way.
Probably. And then probably about 15 minutes after you get your plate, another notice goes through the PA system that General Vaughn is now docking. All hands report to the hangar bay.
Here we go.
I'm assuming people in med bay are exempt from that type of order.
Correct. That is his place of duty. There is no exemption unless, I mean, honestly, that would be the one place General Vaughn might go, a la General Patton, and then go slap the shit out of us.
Yeah. You should.
Send
Dumb
him
piece
to
of
the
shit.
front.
Yeah. You're just crying about your sore arm. Get the fuck back out there. I can't move it. Slap.
I gotta shot that son of a bitch. Anyway, as we wait for Luke to return, I'll wait a moment. We don't have to get right into it. This will be the final scene, and then I will have a question for the players about how we do the rest of this after the fact. But you do make your way through a remarkably tasteless and visually unappealing meal, because this is the military. It's just the way it is. General Vaughn docks or lands aboard the ship. Everybody's called down to the hangar bay. Everybody forms into neat little square and rectangular formations, and General Vaughn comes out, takes her time going through pretty much everybody. Now, when I say everybody, I'm going to wager that there's probably 30 or 40 people aboard. And of those 30 or 40, probably only 20 or 30 here. But General Vaughn takes a moment. She stands in front of you, Sergeant Pike. She's short, if you recall, dark skin. I believe she's a black woman, without looking at her image. But dark skin, obviously military, short hair. Pike, she's standing in front of you, looks you up and down, and there is no emotion on her face. And her intense stare is, well, intense. But she's doing a very close, formal inspection of you guys in particular. Everybody else has been a pretty thorough look through. She is doing the full Kane, you know what I'm talking about this. You walk directly, an in-range inspection. You stand directly in front of your soldier, and then you do the little tiny half step to one side, 2 half steps to the other side, looking up and down at each. Yeah, she's doing all of that. Then she goes through Corporal Wescott, and you guys are probably. She might be a little bit taller. I think Wescott's really short, isn't she? Like 5 foot or
Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
And I think General Vaughn is something like 5'1" or 5'2", to be honest with you. I could be completely out of my mind. But you guys are almost eye to eye, and she's just slightly taller than you. And then she comes over to. I think she actually lingers on you a little bit, Wescott. Or maybe you imagine that. You're not really sure. It's different when you're the one under the microscope. And she has that intense stare of a microscope. And then she moves to Winston, and of course through Warren. And she goes back up to the front, and she kind of just basically dismisses everybody except, and she uses Sergeant Pike's name, except for Sergeant Pike's team, and of course you, Colonel Arnold. And everybody else trickles off, leaving you guys there. Sergeant Pike, your team, stand easy. Always wanted to say that because I fucking hate it.
Yeah, he calls the team to parade rest.
She waves that off. No. Cute, but no. I'll have the formal paperwork submitted within the hour. Normally, we would do a quick little full-on ceremony. And she reaches into her pocket. And she pulls out some rank patches. The one that she gives you, Pike, has a rocker on it. The one that she gives you, Wescott, has a 3rd stripe. The one that she gives you, Winston, has a 2nd stripe. And no rockers. If I'm not mistaken, your rank has a rocker on it. And then to the 2 privates, even though one of them's not
PFCs.
I know, but in the Army, you're a private. Whether you're a private 1, 2, or a PFC. In the Marine Corps, there's a very distinct difference. And so it's a habit for me. But for the 2 PFCs, they will be. She gives Warren his Lance Corporal, and she gives Wescott Watts's rank. Actually, no, she's gonna hold on to that. She's gonna hold on to that because she's gonna go down to the med bay herself. She's probably gonna take you 2 with her, you 2 NCOs, senior NCOs. As she makes her way back through the ranks doing that, she's going to reiterate, official paperwork will be published within the hour. And yes, normally we would have a full honors ceremony for this, but frankly, we've all got a lot of stuff to do. And she glances at where her watch would be on her forearm, but she's not wearing one. And frankly, you guys have a flight to catch. Let it be known, in case there was any doubt, Colonel Arnold is your CO, but you guys work for me. Directly. Through him. Lieutenant Eckhart is officially your team lead as the senior officer, but Staff Sergeant Pike, this is your team. I am sure that you and the LT can get that figured out, and any leadership squabbles won't be squabbles, am I right?
There'll be no problem, General.
Outstanding. And actually, in my notes, I let me rephrase that. She is going to reiterate, Eckhart is a senior officer, but Pike, you're the shot caller. Make shit happen. I almost said whoa. I had to bite my fucking tongue. Marines, we are on the verge of figuring out what is going on in the border worlds. UPP has clearly been into some deep, dark shit. We might just have them cornered now. All we have left to do is to get the last bit of solid evidence. I'll be able to get with the Secretary of Defense and get her on board for authorizing the full invasion of the UPP space. I need you to do that. You get me? Can you do
It'll
this?
get done, General.
She's looking not at Pike only. She's looking at every one of you. If Winston, or God damn it,
Yes, General.
if Watts was here, she'd be making eye contact with him. But Um, we're this close. And she holds up her fingers. We're this close to figuring it out. We're almost there. I'm counting on you. Your work over the last 3 missions that your team has been on, that this team has been on, while not always the decisions I would have made, the results are the same. What I asked for. Keep up the good work. Any questions for me?
No, General.
And she's looking at everybody like this. She's
No,
kind of.
General.
She's not saying it, but she's giving everybody the chance to speak up.
I'm pretty
regardless
sure
of
the
rank.
only accepted answer is still no general.
Does Winston
no
or
general
Watts have
boss.
anything?
General what?
Does Winston or Watts have anything they want to ask?
Warren or Winston?
Yes. God damn it. I hate you guys right now.
Strike
I hate you
again.
guys because I know you guys are laughing at me inside.
I'm
Just
laughing
so
at
you know,
openly.
I did not ask our dearly beloved people for the game tomorrow to change all their names to a different letter. I considered it.
Well, it's too late now. We already have models made.
Doesn't mean we can't change
I'm
names.
gonna punch every one of you. Anyway. Assuming that you guys... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
She waits a moment, and assuming that nobody else speaks up, she's all right, well, you guys have a flight to catch. And she looks over, and in the... You know, there's an area where next to the hangar bay, the next drop ship comes up, is like tractored in on above in the ceiling or some shit. And you can see that there is another drop ship, another Cheyenne, being readied. That's your flight. Enjoy the next 24 hours. You'll be on leave on the surface of Tithonus.
We're going to Space Vegas.
I'll get you. I'm going to brief you on that one in a moment. But she's like, I have a meeting with, well, insert random politician here because I can't think of shit that fast all the time. And she looks to the Colonel Arnold, and he calls you guys to attention. He renders a salute to her, and she returns it, of course, and then she's out. Hopping on her little Blackguard Cheyenne.
Okay, off to meet Giorgio de la Fontaine.
Yes, that guy. How'd you know?
I don't know, man. Just reading the notes.
Reading the notes that you can't see. Got it.
Yeah.
After she leaves, is Colonel Arnold still here?
Yes.
I'll walk up to Colonel Arnold. Sir,
Yes. Yes, Staff Sergeant.
anything new you need from us before we leave?
You get the standard Marine safety brief. Don't add to or take away from the population. Don't be stupid. You are on a military installation. Act accordingly. Also, you are not going to the Hotel Shangri-La or whatever the fuck I called it last time. You will be on leave within the actual installation, if that makes sense.
So we're in the city half.
Yes,
It's still the
installed
military
installation.
base. So, but what it is like there's a number of USO or MWR facilities. MWR is Morale, Welfare, and Recreation. So there's like different clubs. There's the NCO club, enlisted club. There's an officers club, but ain't none of y'all going in there without getting booted out. There's a couple of shopping centers. Think like strip malls, not quite malls. Stuff like that you can do. And then, of course, there's a, we can call it a hotel for lack of a better word, that you guys have a reservation for. Because obviously at some point, all of these facilities are all going to be shutting down and not opening up until the next morning. And obviously this is also where, you know, there are a number of officers, their families, Marines, their barracks, things like that. So if you've ever been to any sort of military installation, you're going to one of those. If you haven't, just imagine a small city completely 1000% centered on the military population.
Instead of being sequestered to a small little holiday facility, we're being released into Gen Pop this time.
Yeah, that's definitely a way to put it.
So we get to do all regular. It'll be like when you were in your garrison before you got picked up by Pike.
Oh. Go to the local bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Enjoy
the
the tax-free shopping in the local post or whatever it's called.
The post exchange, or I guess. Let
Yeah.
me see. Wait. No, in the Marines, it's the base exchange.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure.
So it'll be after all of the nonsense you guys have gone through this campaign. It'll be sort of a weird callback to be around people that are
Almost
doing
normal
stuff like
Marines.
you do. Yeah, did stuff like you used to do, but now you're different.
Very different.
Unfortunately, that is where we're going to end it for tonight because we're at just shy of 9:30 my time.
Mhm.
So, let's
Yes,
move.
9:30.
Oh, that was the other thing I was going to do. So, my question to you guys as players, at our next session, would you like to continue the downtime or would you like to move right into the next mission? I.e., we do kind of a quick summary of whatever might have happened over the next day and a half-ish? Or do we, and then go into whatever the mission is? Or would you like to RP out the next half of this downtime session?
I
I
was
would
a little
like-
concerned. I was a little concerned that the next mission was going to be in the downtime.
No.
Yeah, no. I would like to see a actual downtime session because we seem to be like we're session 20. We've done 3 missions. That means we're average. We generally do like 1 day of downtime between them. So
Yeah.
the second day of downtime makes sense because we're a good chunk of the way in now.
Yeah, the only reason why I ask is I prepped the full downtime session, and
Mhm.
we went a little long in some areas, and which is fine. I mean, it was good RP. That's all I care about.
Mhm.
But I didn't know if we wanted to skip what was left. Excuse me, and
No,
go
let's
straight
do
into
it.
shooting again, or do we stay here? And I'm okay with either answer. I just wanted to put it to you guys, the players, if you wanted to jump the.
Every session that Wescott survives is one more session that
Every
the
session-
up to
Every time
right now
Wescott,
on my-
every time everybody survives, Wescott gets an experience point. So yes, we're gonna do more downtime.
Okay,
Yes.
so no, right now I'm now 2 sessions up on my 40K character.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
so
that
that's-
too. So yeah, more downtime is what I'm hearing.
Even after, yeah. I still think this character's gonna live longer than the 40K one.
Okay.
Ooh.
All
I
right,
just have
so
this
I
like
will.
deep feeling about it.
Let's do this because I already have the rest of downtime prepped. Let me get a 1d3 roll from everybody to determine what the next mission is, so I can start prepping that.
There we go.
Three,
That's a supremely
one.
unhelpful roll.
It's 6. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. So
I mean, if you're
that's a
going to
good way to look
average
at
it, it'll basic.
Always me too.
that's how I've been doing it. Is I'll have you guys roll something and then average the numbers for
Unless it's 2 or 3 the same.
Well, no,
Which comes to the
even
same,
then,
yeah,
if you
yeah.
average the number, it still gives me the range or the number result to work with it.
So why don't you just make a little chart of 1 to 6 of what each mission is and repeat as necessary, and then just roll the dice once and call it a day.
Because this is more entertaining for me to do it this way, and it gives you the illusion of player agency. Because basically, what this means is whatever mission number 2 is, you guys chose that mission, in a way.
Yeah, can I need to introduce you to the concept of the quantum troll.
I don't even know if I want to know.
I'll explain it to you after we're done recording.
Is this like a quantum torpedo?
Maybe.
It's like that is a Star Wars or Star Trek reference, rather. All right. Well, on that note, let's talk about some experience points because somebody is going to get a handful of them, despite not necessarily intending for her to get a bunch. Did you participate? Absolutely. Everybody gets a point for that. Did you risk or sacrifice something to further your agenda? Pike? Possibly. Pike, would you like to make an argument here? Did you risk
my
anything?
personal agenda is to find and kill every UPP officer I can.
Okay, well in that case, no. I'm getting ideas confused.
So I don't think I don't
No,
think I
no.
I don't think I fucked anything up in an effort to kill somebody unnecessarily this mission.
No.
This
I
session.
said I may have gotten agenda and what you're trying to do with your rival buddy, same person thing.
Oh yeah, that's something different, but I'm expecting to get both of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rodance, I think you were trying to make an argument for something. I could be wrong.
I'm just I would say Wescott would have gotten it, except she realized that Pike was needling her and not being. He was being cruel with a purpose rather than just being an asshole. So I'd say that disqualifies it because she realized
Well,
it before she did her actions.
Yeah, the risk or sacrifice does not apply, but the other one will, and we'll get to that in a moment. I don't believe anybody risked their lives for their buddies.
Do we want to give the point to Watts for being such a colossal pain in the ass about trying to get some downtime while he was in medical?
Oh,
his agenda is to have good is to do
Downtime is the best. This is literally his personal agenda.
God, he almost sacrificed a deck of cards.
And he was such a pain in the ass to try to be able to get like his cards and everything.
Like, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. The problem is he had like 14 seconds of screen time. I'll give it to him, though, because sometimes I'm too generous. So Watts can get that one.
Yeah. He almost never gets to proc his personal agenda because it only shows up during downtime sessions.
Yeah.
So he could use the XP.
It would be easier if we had like remember the end of the first mission where we were just farting around waiting for transport?
Yeah.
If he pulled out a deck of cards there and tried to like organize the people who aren't on watch, like relaxing and fucking about.
Yeah.
That's risking our preparedness in order to try to get some relaxation down.
Yeah.
Just
Also
thoughts for future
stress.
ideas. Yeah.
Did you challenge or stand up to your rival, Wescott? Yes. Pike, I'm giving that one to you because you definitely challenged her. If not standing up to her. But Wescott, you definitely stood up to Pike. So as long as you have Pike as a rival, you get a point there.
Yes, he is currently listed as both my rival
Oh,
and
that's
my buddy.
cute. You guys are twinning on that one.
I copied his idea because it seemed very appropriate. For
It
what was
really
about to happen.
does, though. It really does. Wescott, you get a point for all of those panic rolls you had to make. What'd you make, like 3 or just 2?
I'm up to stress 5 and panic 7.
Oh wow.
Ah, damn. No, I thought you should be at 8.
8.
Because you
It
rolled
doesn't
7.
auto click because I rolled 7 twice, but it doesn't
Yeah.
auto increase it, so I'm technically
Okay.
at 8.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Not that that's about to matter.
Did you overcome a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means? I don't think we had any danger aboard. Stressful, perhaps, but not
Pike.
dangerous.
Hey, the fact that Pike
She
has
tried to
admitted
stab
that
Pike.
he flips his shit sometimes, I think actually makes doing any interaction of sparring with him now a dangerous event.
Oh, that's a good point. He settled into perspective hey, so you guys know, I gotta take a breather after I beat you up. It's because I'm trying really hard not to just kill you.
Yeah,
by
so
the way,
technically-
you've been in a lot of danger around me you didn't know about.
So,
Yeah,
is this another one of those
Wescott-
freebies? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes,
I'm arguing for a
you're
freebie.
for that one.
I don't know. Well,
I did try to stab Pike. Just
did.
saying. That
He
was the
was
closest we
armored,
got to danger
though.
today.
I don't know if that was necessarily dangerous.
I wasn't going to roll the armor roll because I wasn't going to try to use the armor to block it. I wanted her to stab him and do it.
Yeah. I would have made you roll the armor, though.
Oh,
Because I would have been amused as fuck if she tried to, and the blade chipped and shattered.
He wasn't. I did not roll the block.
Yeah, no, that
I
is
just rolled and failed.
That was pretty funny, though. It
That
worked
was-
out thematically.
That's like 3 times in a row that she has tried to like physically and aggressively stand up and try to knock you down and just can't. And not because you blocked it, but because her dice suck.
Yeah, it's not the biggest dice pool either.
No.
Hey, that's after sinking. Okay, and I had to roll close combat and not unarmed because I used a screwdriver on him.
Yeah.
So I didn't even get my feet for it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can really take it with improvised weapons.
I really did think that she was just going to try to cold cock him in the face.
That would have been even more hilarious, I think.
Pike was expecting to get punched in the face.
All right, fuck it. Pike and Wescott get one for the dangerous event using violent or non-violent means. I don't think we really had any significant discoveries revelations. Although we could argue
briefed
the
them on
sudden
AWs.
promotions. Huh?
I briefed them on AWs.
Oh shit,
So
that's
all
right.
of us
Yeah.
who didn't already know about it should get it because
Yeah.
we didn't know about AWs before.
Yeah. All right.
I
No,
just,
that
I
makes
just
sense.
told the rest of the team that I am a modified child,
Robot.
baby soldier grown.
You're
in
an
the core
elemental.
nonsense.
Just say
Yeah.
elemental.
I am a core elemental.
So yeah, unfortunately, Winston, you don't get a point for that one. But
No, but I got it earlier.
did you? I hope you did. I think you did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
We got
did we have any
here's the
extra-
drugs.
Yeah, did we have any extraordinary actions of any kind?
No.
Don't think so. Unless you want to count Wescott finally getting
Getting
mad enough
closer
to
and
try to-
closer to decking Pike.
but her having her whole be fuzzy with the team, be happy with the team, be cool and level headed, and then she tried to fucking stab him with a screwdriver. I don't know. I'm trying to make an argument.
Hey,
Yeah, but it's
I'm
getting
just
really
looking
flimsy
forward
because
to
it's
the
already
future.
been used once.
Yeah,
Twice.
I
And,
have to try.
I'm really kind of waiting for the session where I try to turn Pike into a normal person.
Pike is really excited. Thinks you're on the path to picking up Merciless now.
Is
Oh god.
that the metric? Is that the metric we're using? It if Pike gets everybody merciless, he's successful. He can retire happy now.
He doesn't need Warren to pick it up. Warren's trying hard enough without it.
Lauren is a tryhard.
All right, for this last one, obviously everybody gets it because yes, you are being paid. Nobody's being docked, and also your paycheck is slightly larger now. Which
Nice.
also,
Oh, nice.
and I did not realize this when I prepped this, but now I got to go and change all y'all's fucking overlay graphics or your icons and actually
Our tokens.
your tokens and the fucking overlay because they all need to be reflecting your new ranks. I mean, most of that takes only a few moments, so.
Yeah.
Feedback and outros. Rodance. Feel like you've got a handful of things to throw in there, but please. Feedbacks and any sort of outro-y comments you've got. What do you got?
I really want her to fail her depression roll when it comes to the first day on leave because I think it would be appropriate with her 5 stress that she can't get rid of.
I wanna throw something at you really quick because I did have notes prepped for. God, no! Oh, with Colonel what's his face, Colonel Arnold. I had a
I
note
like
in
how
here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like you should have asked me more questions about things, but he kind of just glossed over several of the other things.
Well, so unfortunately, I didn't have specific questions prepped. I had ideas prepped for
Yeah.
what he was going to talk to you guys about. Which is why maybe like on Pikes, it was a lot easier for me to portray because I'm used to having those kinds of conversations. Like, why did you do this? What was the thought process? Why this and why that? Here's what happened. Now, I did have in here for Wescott. I'm trying to find where it is. I know I had a note in here specifically for if you were having one of your down days. Oh, yes. If she happens to be in a depressive state, he will ride her even harder for that as well, informing her that he will be pushing for her administrative release from the unit and sent to a psych ward where they can not only deal with her but more properly determine her continued service in the Corps. He would have hit you with that line after all of the other shit.
Ew.
Yeah, that's almost firing squad news.
Yeah, it is. It is. But unfortunately, and again, I'm not trying to make light of any mental health concerns, but
You don't give people who are not mentally competent guns.
I mean, ultimately, yes. That's correct.
There's
I'm staring at Pike on my screen right now.
there's
You can't
There's
tell,
so
but just
much.
saying.
there is so much more baggage that comes along with that than just we'll take care of you. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah. But yeah,
Space
no.
Commie 80s probably approaches it slightly differently.
What's that?
God, I hope so.
I mean,
Space
it-
Commie 80s, future tech land.
it's
mean, back in the
not-
Space
it's
80s,
not
mental-
even that. Even now, like
Mental
it's very
awareness
different.
wasn't a thing back then, or mental health awareness wasn't a thing back then. Either you were fine or you were crazy.
Meh.
Anyways, you got anything else you want to throw in there?
Oh God, am I gonna see the little consultant again?
Oh,
Is
Tom-
he
Tom,
on leave too?
Tom Stevenson.
Yeah.
Only one way to know. Back here
we
next
got
time.
the same damn shuttle down.
He might already be on the ground at this point, for all you know.
Yeah, but still, funny idea.
Yeah. You got anything else?
I'm going to go hunt down Rev if we don't have our game tomorrow. I know
want-
roughly
I
where
want
he
video.
lives.
I want video.
I actually don't know what. I don't even know what city he is, but so I'm just saying it because I kind of want to.
I know
Because
what
I kind
city
of want
he's
to like
in.
shake him a little bit.
I know what city
Dude,
he's in.
it's a
I don't know where.
It's a 2-day drive. It's not actually going to happen, but I kind of want to.
All right. Luke, feedback and other thoughts. What do you got for us?
Yeah, Space 80s probably has terrible mental health awareness and procedures. Lobotomies are probably still a thing.
I will tell you this. Prozac.
Not any better.
No, but I feel like that's the easy answer.
Yeah. No, the decision went pretty well. I mean, we got our armor art and stuff like that, so that went pretty good. Definitely more, yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Definitely more RP potentials, so that went well.
And you found out that Colonel Arnold can be an asshole.
Hey Arnold, stop being an asshole.
I mean, do kernels come in not asshole flavors?
Yeah, but they're usually more SF related,
Mm-hmm.
which is ironic because technically you guys are kind of an SF unit, so
No.
kind of, sorta. Well,
Where
now
I-
you
I
are.
feel like we're walking closer and closer to not existing as a unit as this goes on.
Oh, I mean, we're the personal servitors of the General Vaughn.
I love it.
Just
I mean, I'm not
because-
sure we're even Marines anymore.
Just because Pike is 2 brain cells away from being a vegetable does not mean he's a servitor.
He is not yet a servitor, is what you're trying to say.
he enjoys. All she has to do is dangle some officers, and he toes the party line. Just so.
His Pike's personal beef is with the UPP. He has a very personal beef with the UPP.
Not just
Clearly.
UPP people, the entire
Like the-
concept of the UPP.
Yeah, I mean he's got his from birth indoctrination against all the other governments, but he's also got like personal beef against the UPP, and that's why his agenda is to kill any UPP officers he can get his hands on.
Let me point you back to last mission. Last mission. That
Yeah,
guy
where
right
you
there,
beat
he's a
that guy to
colonel?
death?
That guy? He's a colonel?
Yeah.
Kane, what do you got for us, my friend? Since we got a little sidetracked there.
Well, Pike's a staff sergeant now.
Yes, he is.
That's a scary thought. Pike is very satisfied with his interaction with Wescott.
That's good to know. Wescott, how do you feel about that?
Oh, I generally avoid role playing angry because I don't do good at not being angry later. But I think it
know the
worked well
feeling.
this time.
Yeah.
Oh, when I get angry, I get mean, and then the mean doesn't go away for months at a time. So I generally avoid getting mean or angry with people for that exact reason. Joy. But I think I've RP'd it acceptably.
No, you did. You did pretty
tried
good.
to stab him with a screwdriver. That felt
Listen,
pretty mean to
I'm
me.
not gonna lie. I sat here through that entire exchange, waiting and trying to pay attention to cues or whatever, just to make sure, because I knew the topic of the conversation and some of the things that might be said could be. I really hate using this fucking word, triggering. And I was like, okay, hold on. As a GM, I got to stop you right there, But we never got to that point. Everybody kept going. I didn't see anything that said that I didn't feel like we needed to stop for any reason.
Yeah.
But I was definitely super aware.
I've been a role player for long enough. I know
Yeah.
where the line is for how I can role play a character versus how I will react as a player.
Yeah.
And there are some emotions I can role play fine, but there's others that can't because they bleed over too easily.
Yep.
Anger is one of those for me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and yeah, you generally know I'm angry with you when I start threatening you with rusty spoons. And then I go into exact detail about how I will skin you and how much it'll bleed and how much you have to take care of the person afterwards to make sure they are still alive so you can continue to watch them bleed.
I'm gonna make a
That's how you know I'm
UPP
angry with
officer
you.
now.
But
Who
can
that's his
Pike-
whole MO is to find Pike just to turn him into a rusty spoon torture doll.
but can somebody caress your rusty spoon?
What's that?
I mean, if
anybody who
they're
gets that
equally angry
reference.
right there with me and
I
assisting me in the particular topic, potentially.
I didn't hear
to
what you said.
anybody? But would it be okay if somebody comes to caress your rusty spoon?
Okay.
Only if they're assisting me in using it on the appropriate target, but that's generally how it goes.
For people who know the reference, you'll get it.
I don't, but I'm still amused. But please continue.
But no, I knew that there was plenty of stuff that Pike could have tried to get into there to try to break Wescott down that I think wouldn't have been. I think would have either been lost without like the experience to go and understanding what I was putting into Pike, but also like sort of like is this necessary to make the point in the role play or not, and trying to make sure to not cross that line into gratuitous. So
No, I think that scene went
I
really
didn't
well.
get stopped, so I feel like I did a good job at not going too far with that. So
Yeah, no, I think overall that scene went well, and I think some of our humorous injections and other random comments, or just a simple break of like, hey, make an empathy roll, kept the tension managed very well. I realize, of course, some of my interventions probably were more distracting than they were helpful, but I think overall, I think it went pretty well. And we got to see a side of two characters justifying, but rightfully so, the fact that they are rivals and buddies at the same time. Like Pike, both characters really like the other person, but also have very specific reasons to why they want to throttle them. And in Pike's case, as a leader, his reason in wanting to throttle Wescott is because she's not towing the line. Well, tonight, we got her to finally get to that point and realize why he needs her to be on board. And it's not entirely psychopathical in nature.
he is an unusually sociable AW.
One may argue at this point that he might be unusually empathetic as well.
He's I feel like it really I feel like it lended credibility when he was like, I volunteered to work with you normie people.
Yeah.
Like I chose to be here.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I think I got what I wanted to get done with Pike.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Anything else? Does anybody else have any other final comments they want to throw at me? To include, I need to stop interrupting so much.
I still think it's hilarious that the measurement if we are on Pike's party line is if we have Merciless or not.
I love that
And
metric.
I'm not sure that the Merciless is where she would go there. I think she would go into what is the one when you get strength and then just go insane and keep murdering people? That one.
Is that overkill?
Yeah, I think she would go overkill, not Merciless.
Oh my
First.
god. You know what that means? She's basically the koala bear with razor blades.
Pike can teach you overkill.
I haven't enough experience, and I think she will buy overkill. Seriously, chuck overkill on my sheet.
I feel like we should have a scene for that during the R&R where she like.
Well, put it on my character now, and we'll.
I'm about to right now.
I just think it would be interesting to have a scene where she like approaches Pike and is like, "Will you teach me how to use that anger?" You know what I mean? Teach me the power of the dark side.
Teach me how to Dougie.
Well, she now understands what she's getting to properly after they had their lovely heart-to-heart with a screwdriver.
Overkill. Wescott now has overkill. Make sure you update your experience points appropriately, of course.
I already did.
I feel like that's her committing to the dark side. She's got overkill now.
Yeah. All right, guys. Are we good for next week? Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, in that case, we are done for tonight. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you as always. Please consider all of the likes, subscribes, shouts, I don't know, whatever the button is, just click it and see what it does. Maybe even send me some money. I don't know. No, don't hurt yourself on that one. What I would appreciate, though, of course, is in the description to this YouTube video or exclamation Discord in the live chat, live stream chat. Come join us and hang out with us on the Discord server. The more the merrier. Also, tell me how I'm doing things weird or, I don't know, wrong even. I'm sure I've screwed things up, but I feel like we've made it all work in the end state. And on that note, we are out of here. So make sure... Oh my god, I'm forgetting my own line. That is it for tonight. Stay safe out there, my friends. This world is a dark and crazy place. So make sure you're doing what you got to do to take care of you and yours. And as for me and mine, we're out of here. Have a good one. See you next time.